Today's lesson is working with using tongs and then also tweezers, and the purpose of this is for increasing scissor skills, just as we did a couple of weeks ago with the medicine dropper and using the hole punch. So kind of working on that open and close motion. There's a bunch of different types of tools you can use. You can use just a pair of regular kitchen tongs. I got these at the dollar store. Sometimes in different toys, or at the dollar store you might find these are like little chopsticks that are connected, but they came with a kids activity. These are just a little pair of scissors again that were collected. It's like a spoon, but the same kind of a motion as a scissors. And then this again is another little bunny rabbit. It came with like a fake Easter egg set. So you can use those. You can also use regular tweezers that you can get at the beauty supply area in the dollar store. And then these are just clothespins that you can use. And again, if you can tell with all these, it's working on opening and closing those different motions. So just a couple of different ideas of some activities that we created. This is just a shoebox, and I covered it with red paper. I put a little Christmas tree on it, and then I just colored with marker around the Christmas tree, different colors. And then in the box, I have some different pom-poms. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll put the little craft pom-poms. Again, you should be able to find all of this stuff at the dollar store. I would put them on the table. And for kiddos that are maybe just learning how to do this, maybe some younger children, you might actually just have one hole here, and you can have kids practice picking up the pom-pom with the tweezer and then putting it in the big hole. For kids that are a little bit more advanced and maybe working on some different colors or sorting, I have different colored plates here. So I have a paper plate that I put with marker, yellow and red, blue, green, and orange. So you could set those plates out on the table that your child is working at, and you could first have your child just work using the tools on sorting. So maybe put all the yellow pom-poms onto a plate, and then all the red pom-poms onto a plate, the blue, etc., etc. So you could work on kind of that cognitive component, and then when they're all done, they can use their hands to poke the pom-poms through the hole. So this is kind of working on a couple things, not only the tongs, but then we incorporate a little bit of using these two fingers together and finger isolation to push the pom-pom through the hole. So that's one activity or one way that we use, that you can use tongs. You probably have different things at home, different games. If you were having a snack or having your child have a snack, you could put, let's say, all the Cheerios into a bowl, and then you could have them use a pair of tongs to scoop up and get a bunch of Cheerios out. So you could do that even at the dinner table. If you're passing things around, you might have to help your child so they don't make a mess, but just try and incorporate different ways that they can maybe use tools to help them become more independent, but then also help them to use school tools later on, like scissors and writing utensils. So that's one activity idea. Another thing, just using little pom-poms. So I have these little pom-poms here. These are just little mini cups that we found at the dollar store. You could have them use a clothespin to squeeze, pick up the pom-pom, and then put them in and drop them into a cup. So kids love to fill and dump. So you would just have them try and work on that. Again, they're working on those pre-scissor skills. They're building up strength. They're working on opening, closing, which is important for scissors. And these are just cheap dollar stores clothespins that I found at the dollar store. So that's an idea there. On this activity, again, you could use just cotton balls, or you could use these color pom-poms. This is just a picture of a tree, and it has little circles. So working on that eye coordination, you can have your child work with either the tongs or tweezers or the clothespins and try and line up the different dots onto the tree. So they're working on that eye-hand coordination, but also just getting that repetition and practice of squeezing open and close. So that's an idea. These are just out of craft felt. I have different shapes here. some hearts, and then I have stars, and we use them for a variety of activities. But I drew a star and a heart on a piece of paper. So you could even use something like this and spread these out on the table. And it's gonna, sometimes it might be frustrating, so you'll have to play and try it yourself first, because you'll find some things are easier to pick up than others. But you could have them try and pick up the different foam shapes that you cut out and then match them. So I'm gonna put the hearts on the hearts, and then I'm gonna put the star on the stars. So that's just another neat activity that you can do at home, probably with stuff that you have. Another thing you could do is, I have a circle, and you can just draw this out on regular paper. It doesn't have to be typed or written like mine, but I have a circle, and then I have a rectangle. If you were just working, this would be maybe just a toddler, and you're kind of thinking of, we want to work on those pre-scissor skills, or those early scissor skills of opening and closing. Maybe we're also trying to teach about shapes, so I just have a circle here. And then these are just little felt pieces, but you could really use anything. If you have one sock that's missing its partner, you can cut it up into little pieces, and you can kind of spread them out on the table. And then you could have your child try and fill the circle. So they're going to pick up the pieces with the tongs, and they're just going to see if they can put them all inside of the circle. So that's just another idea of activities that you can use. This here is just an old, especially with winter coming up, this is I think this was like those smelly things that you put in the dryer or the washing machine to help your clothing get set. Sometimes if you get the big creamer containers and you can take the plastic off the top, you could do the same. I just drew a snowman on there. You can see like the eyes, the carrot nose. But again, kids just like to fill and dump, so you don't even have to put anything on there. But you could dump some of the cotton balls out. And then you could just have them practice picking up the cotton balls and pushing them and putting them into the container. So you could use an orange juice container. You can get creative. If your child doesn't have allergies, sometimes peanut containers are good. You might just have stuff lying around the house, but just wanted to give you just an idea of something else that you can use. Here again, this is how it would work if you had the little Chinese sticks that you eat with. Sometimes this has a little teddy bear on it. I think it might have came with a bear sorting game. I think Operation has a pair of tweezers, so you might have that floating around your house. But again, you can use the same sort of concept, or the clothespin as well. If you have any questions, please let me know. Feel free to email me at any time. Thank you for watching.